teams are the fan favorites. You were watching the first game, of course, Alliance naturally being from Sweden. But also when Fnatic was playing against Mouseport was winning 8-0 and the crowd was kind of silent. Then Fnatic started coming back and you could hear the cheers and the woos from the crowd. So I think there's going to be a very hype match for the people watching here and a very loud match as well. So you will have to shout a little bit higher than you're used to, I'm afraid, guys. How's your throat doing?
Lumi's just already ripped. He's just like, nope, this isn't working.
I'll power through it.
But yeah, you're right. These really are two of the favorite teams coming in. You got support from Sweden there. And it's like, you know, and it is Alliance. They've chosen Alliance.
He looks like Chris Pratt a little bit. Oh, that's cool.
I don't even know who that is.
The guy from Guardians of the Galaxy. Looking there. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So I guess the draft is going to start right now. So
yeah, but I just want to say in terms of predictions is that
that's where I was going.
It's going to be a best of 3, of course, and the winner of this will actually advance into the final 4. And the winner of this game is against Empire.
Yes.
So it's a big match and it's a big best of 3, but of course it's a best of 3. So I've said no one's got anything to lose. They should just go, full on. Like in the best of 1s, people came in with premeditated strategy. They were like, yes, we're going to pick Silencer. Yes, we're going to pick Troll Warlord. Everyone had something that they were going to do. I still think they need to come in here and bring the first game and take that advantage because momentum is what's going to make a difference.
Yeah, and speaking of momentum, my pick goes for Fnatic. They just came from winning right now, and a game they were losing. I mean, they said they weren't losing, but the score didn't indicate so, and the goal graph didn't indicate so. So with that ride, like, oh, okay, we played so great, Excalibur was amazing, I think they will ride that into victory.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Like, Alliance S4, amazing mid. The rotations of the supports won them that game. Just shutting down Arteezy, opened up the whole game for Alliance. I'm going to go with Alliance on the matchup.
I'm going to go with Alliance as well, to be honest. Because if you have one person to focus all your efforts on, you can just crush them, and then the rest of the team, like if you put all your eggs in one basket, if you steal the basket.
And now I'm like, I want to counter this, but you don't just leave No-Tail alone, I say, I don't know who's going to win. I'm confused. Andy, help me.
I'm actually kind of in the same boat as you. I think Alliance are going to win. Like, let's look at the game that Fnatic just won, right? And say, if they were playing against Alliance and they had the same draft, would they have played that aggressively and ended up giving a little bit back to Fnatic, which ended up being enough for them to actually just straight up win the game? Would they have let all those stacks just be given away? I think just in terms of overall play, maybe Alliance would have been a little bit better in that kind of a situation because they know how to play against greed because they're greedy. So I feel like they might have punished it a bit more. But it's hard to say because game-to-game basis, different drafts, maybe you have a bad game every once in a while. It's really hard.
All right, Lumi, last, you got the final say.
I think these two teams are very even, but I'm going to side with Alliance as well.
Wow.
Not just because we are in Svenska
so wait, is Bruno
territory.
the only Fnatic?
No, well, the thing is, I'm confused now. I don't know. Because like, when he was saying if you focus all your efforts on Excalibur, that's like what can happen. And I'm like, well, that's the point. It's like Fnatic
he
are
had the last
amazing.
word. Come on.
No,
okay, Excalibur, to us, he's not proven yet. He has great games. Good against DK was the Tinker game. And we saw a Tinker game.
He's not proven. He's just had really good games against the best teams in the world.
Right. On
totally
Tinker.
unproven.
On Tinker. What if he
On
doesn't
land.
get Tinker?
Yeah. On Meepo.
On land.
What if he doesn't get Tinker?
Meepo.
Well, we'll see then.
Ember Spirit.
We'll see. I don't think he's proven. I love Stevie. Because he's, what is it, too easy for Stevie? Is that how it goes?
You're not even in his fan club, mate. You just shut up. Like,
Maybe I will be. Maybe
I joined
will
his
be.
Facebook page, okay?
I love to be proven wrong.
Lumi is like ready to hop on the bandwagon, but he's really hesitant.
All right. Well, let's stop arguing because it's going to be a close game. That's all we know from that discussion, if anything. We're going to go into the match. The draft's already started. We're going to leave you with Andy, Lumi, and Shane. Yep. And then I didn't forget your names.
It's all right.
And then me and Bruno will be back a little bit later between the matches and also for post-game interviews. So enjoy the match. It's going to be Alliance versus Fnatic, game number 1.
That's when you start using your words, Lumi.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Welcome
just like, it's okay.
John Shopping.
That's totally
John
not even
Shopping.
close.
It's getting closer.
Yeah, it's getting closer.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
You'll have to ask somebody from the audience. And
My
don't
Svenska's
keep pulling that
strong.
chair. Okay,
Strong.
good. So we're starting off the draft here. Fnatic, they've picked up Wisp, Brew together in the first 2.
Yep.
Pretty interesting, something that you don't really see too often, but one of the cool things about it is that whenever relocates on cooldown, you know that you might have a primal split, or you can just relocate with a primal split, and there's a good chance that you're going to be able to win the team fight pretty handedly.
Sure.
Gives you a lot of map control on top of it. Pretty strong starting too, but Alliance, they go Doom Shadow Demon, which leaves you open to, I don't know, countless things.
Yeah. I think it's also a lot baiting Alliance into banning out the Tiny, maybe?
Baiting.
Yeah, like do you have to ban Tiny?
You think Shadow Demon counters Tiny?
No, if you're Alliance now, do you not ban Tiny?
You ban Tiny.
Yeah. So maybe Fnatic are going to pick another hero, whether like Sven or some other kind of core hero. PA, yeah.
5 seconds remaining.
I think PA is actually really nice with Wisp. Like when we saw, I think it was a Summit game, EG played Treant Wisp PA, and our TZ went PA mid, and they just couldn't kill him.
Yeah, impossible.
It was crazy. There were some really sick dives going on as well in the game.
Well, PA doesn't really benefit that much from attack speed, like a little bit, but not as much as other heroes, like. But she benefits a lot from the overcharge.
Overcharge.
Yeah.
Well,
the
it's
tank
not just
ability.
that.
tank
It's,
ability.
Oh, wrong game. Wait.
Fnatic's turn
We
to
ported
ban.
Ramos to Dota 2 now?
oh, wait, what? How do you know what that thing's called?
Well,
Get out.
Get out of here.
Well, I don't know.
You don't- I'm just kidding, Bruno. We love you. You can stay just because your suit's made out of
10
money and we haven't had lunch yet.
seconds
We're going to need it later.
I'd need your whole sleeve.
5 seconds.
Okay,
5
so
seconds remaining.
back to my, I guess, fan club play club of Stevie. Tinker's banned out.
Meebo's banned.
Meebo's banned
Ember
out.
Spirit's not banned.
Ember's not bad, but like, that's what I mean. He has to prove himself, and this is the game to do it, right? Against one of the best teams in the world.
When Alliance is first banning your heroes, I think proving yourself kind of.
I think that the fact that Alliance are scared to the point where they actually do just first ban
Yeah.
Tinker is saying something.
Yeah. I
Okay,
think
that's fair, but what if Alliance wins this game because they ban Excalibur's hero? What do you say to that?
I remember when Admiral Bulldog only had a few heroes, and
Yeah, but he also won TI, so
So you're saying
5
Stevie can't win
seconds
TI too?
he can.
No, he would actually win TI 4, not 2.
but he could go back in time.
See, I had to do my own play on words. I know Bruno wanted to say something, but it's fine.
He is pretty powerful.
I don't know, man. I feel like maybe we've only seen Excalibur play a few heroes, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he can only play those
That's
few
true.
heroes.
Yeah.
So I think maybe just give him the benefit of the doubt and say, if you can play a hero with a skill cap like Tinker, who I would say is one of the higher
And
skill cap
Meepo.
heroes, and
Yeah.
Meepo as well, of course, then you can probably play some other heroes.
Sure.
Give Skeleton King a bash.
I mean, I feel like that might be a waste of his talents, you know?
I would really like to see him play Brewmaster
Alliances
because it's one of
turn
those
to pick.
another very very skill intensive
Yeah, you
hero.
could do some-
At the same time though, it's not the same breed like a very farm intensive hero, like a hero that could use gold very well. So I think we're gonna see Hani play that hero
Or Trixie.
or Trixie.
They have been known to offlane it.
Any case, it looks like we're gonna see No Tails Disruptor, a hero that's gonna do.
Wisp.
Oh yeah, he generally played Wisp and Disruptor, so
He's actually just going to have Fly share control,
And give me
Okay.
both.
and he's going to play them
5
both.
seconds.
Okay.
5 seconds remaining.
It's pretty harsh on Fly.
It is. Yeah, it is. You're right.
Reserve
Fly is
time.
definitely awesome.
I can't believe that statistic, by the way, that Wisp is not picked or banned in a majority of games, over 75% of the games.
Well, it's only certain teams that play him, really, isn't it?
That's true, but I think he's such a globally powerful hero
10
that
seconds
Well,
remaining.
Fnatic had to pick Disruptors, so they didn't counter Wisp, and like that's a huge counter to Wisp.
It's just this patch, man. Like, people play everything in this patch.
that's true.
So to see heroes that
Less than
aren't really...
25% though.
Still. I mean, there's still like a tiered hero list, right? Where there's maybe a grouping of 10 to 15 heroes who really just aren't picked that much at all. But just in general, so many people play so many different things. I think Doom is starting to see a lot more play nowadays again.
Alliances turn to
Like,
pick.
he's just come back into the limelight for whatever reason. Brew is kind of the same.
That armor buff, man, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Could be. What was it, like
One.
1? Yeah. 1 armor.
Taking literally no damage.
And speaking of that Tiny you guys mentioned earlier, it looks like Fnatic are going to be able to get their hands on it. Which, if I were Alliance right now, I don't necessarily like the prospect of dooming a
10
Tiny.
seconds remaining.
You know,
it doesn't do
It
anything.
doesn't really do anything. Like,
Yeah.
you want to doom Brew. Heck, even dooming a Wisp or a
I think
Disruptor
doing
could be
Wisp
good.
is key.
Yeah.
Like, get him out of the fight. He does a lot. It looks like we're going to see a return of the War Runner which I gotta say fits a plan of kill the damn Wisp.
Yeah, it does.
Well, the nice thing is, it's an ulti that's always on a cooldown to where you know that you're going to have Stampede for every single primal split or relocate, like depending on how you stagger.
10
Sure.
seconds
So
remaining.
you always have some kind of reaction, and being able to get away from those ganks is going to be very important.
At the same time, though, there's glimpse.
Yeah, I was about to say that. How well do you think?
Well, in a 5-man engagement, like even if they don't use it for relocates, if the Brewmaster splits and you Stampede away, the Brewmaster split can't chase that. You will at best get one hero because of glimpse. That's kind of the point.
And then the relocate as well.
10 seconds remaining.
Well, no, but if if they split, they're probably going to be relocating at around the same time.
5 seconds.
And if you wait for a Stampede to relocate, you're going to be relocating far away from the rest of your team,
Reserve
you know,
time.
because the other team will be
Yeah.
running.
Good call, Andy.
Fnatic.
It's a lot of
Turn
theory
to
craft,
pick.
though. You know, a lot of things can happen in a Dota game. You think of like one way, and then
It doesn't go like that at all.
the lanes just go so badly that you never get to the point in the game that you wanted to. You see a lot of games end that way. You see games that, like last game, where it looked, holy crap, Mouse is owning.
Last game was like 1 in 1,000. Like I don't think in a lot of pro games I've seen that kind of deficit,
strategy as
that
well.
deficit, and then the comeback.
Yeah, but the fact is there's so many intricacies, not just in the draft, but in overall gameplay
seconds
and how every
remaining.
single detail matters
Yep.
that can just win or lose your game.
All right, the final
Reserve
pick coming up from
time.
Fnatic. They definitely need a off lane, although Brewmaster could sort of sometimes off lane.
Yeah, you can.
Not
Especially-
really well.
You could do a 1v1 via Centaur and then dual lane mid
Sure.
and offensive.
We actually saw Brewmaster off lane against Doom in the first opening game of
Yeah.
the day, so might see them there again.
I think most people play Wisp Tiny mid. I think it's a.
So who do you think is going to play the Tiny? Because Era normally plays it. Are we going to see no tail?
I think we have to see the last pick first.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, if you see the last pick, you might know after people start
10
picking the heroes,
seconds
but
remaining.
it's going to be Skywrath again.
Scaramage?
I mean, he could
Alliance's
play Tiny.
turn to pick.
Yeah. There's a few nuances with Tiny as well. Like you can do some cool combos.
You know, the one thing I wish they would change is toss priority.
Yeah.
On heroes?
Well, no, I mean, the way I liked it is in Han, basically it was the closest target to your feet. So like, if you have a creep next to you and a hero, if you move
10 seconds.
in a way that you're closer to the hero, will always prioritize the toss on that particular target.
5 seconds.
So it's still a
5
positioning thing,
seconds remaining.
but it's not just like a pseudo random positioning thing where if you have 3 things in range,
In the
you
area.
could
5
accidentally
seconds
throw the wrong
remaining.
thing. You know?
Fnatic's turn to
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I personally like the random X factor, but that's just
You would.
what's wrong with that? This game, by the way, though, any thoughts on if you're the Brewmaster, you skip your blink, you just get tossed in and you split?
I think you always get blink.
Okay. I mean, I still think blink is a great item, but
The thing is, if you don't have a blink dagger and you rely on the toss in,
He has to be beside you first of all, so he's not farming. He's not using the relocate.
well,
to
the
gank.
thing is, yeah, this game where you really want to relocate your Tiny when the fight
Yeah,
starts.
exactly,
So,
yeah.
you want your Trixie to blink in, use the spells. But in any case, it's gonna be a
10
solo
seconds
mid disruptor,
remaining.
or at least a disruptor that's gonna get some farm priority.
Oh, well.
Which I
5
think that
seconds,
disruptor is
5
one of those
seconds
heroes, support-wise, that could transition into a carry insanely well. Once you get your Aghanims, he is one of the best supports in the game.
Ags Disruptor, yeah, it's crazy to deal with. Just the amount of
Prepare for
time that you can stop multiple heroes from even activating a BKB. And the other thing too is that Alliance, they are looking at potentially 2 or 3 BKB carriers. You have to BKB so early against Disruptor with Ags.
Yeah.
It's actually frustratingly difficult to BKB properly against that kind of team.
And when you do it that early, the Fnatic team could just say, hey, let's just go back, you know?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be game 1 of a best of 3 series between Fnatic as well as Alliance. Alliance, their final pickup was Razor, which I guess should be fairly self-explanatory. The static link is they're gonna be the weapon against Tiny, and it will work through disruption. You have things like Purge, as well as the slows and the stun to set you up.
It's also really good against Skywrath, who has a lot of targeted abilities.
Sure, yeah.
30 seconds to battle.
What do you guys think about farming Centaur? Haven't seen that in quite a long time. I think it was Mouse Sports the last time I saw it.
I think it's okay. I know that Alliance have actually done this before.
Did he get a veil on it?
No,
Okay.
definitely not.
I don't know.
You become the tank lord.
We'll see.
The thing is, when you're Centaur and you get total free farm, like they need somebody who can actually stay in the fight and live. Because getting multiple hoof stomps off, being able to get more than one double edge is just an insane amount of damage. And plus, a farm Centaur is great for pushing. Imagine you get a heart at some stage in the game and you're trying to siege high ground, you just stand in front of the tower and let it hit you.
Yeah.
So there is definitely a lot of things that can be gleaned from a farming Centaur.
All right, just want to point out a couple of things on this mid matchup here as Wisp Tiny. So notice No Tail didn't spend a lot of his gold yet. It's going to be saving for that very quick bottle. And that's going to allow you to double up the regen on Excalibur as well as No Tail. Secondly, there was an Observer ward on the Radiant side of the hill, which got dewarded. And that ward generally means quite a bit for mid Tiny because you want to toss creeps as a form of harassment against S4's Razor. Obviously, I think S4 is gonna. Do you think he's gonna skill Unstable Current this game and Link, or do you think he's gonna go Plasma Field and Unstable Current?
I think Unstable Current's really good against the Tosseras. But just run at him with the Link is also...
But running at 2 heroes is sort of dangerous, right?
I think it's only dangerous once Excalibur starts getting a handful of levels.
And has the combo, yeah.
Yeah, at the very least, you want to make sure you have your stun and toss. Otherwise, your combo is just not going to do much of anything. But I think at like level 4, that's when you start getting a little bit worried. Like when Excalibur gets 2 points into each, because that No Tail is going to have 2 points into his spirits, and the damage from that definitely can kill a Razor who doesn't have the best strength game. But with the rotation of Ake to mid, I don't really think this dual lane from Fnatic is going to be able to accomplish much in terms of farm. But that's only if Ake really stays around.
Yeah, normally also, as we see it, that toss harassment, but it looks like First Blood's going to come to the bottom lane. Disruption, Soul Catcher. And you could, ride the rest, Hoof Stomp into Double Edge.
That damage.
Yeah.
It is pretty terrifying to play against that because a level 2 double edge does 250 damage, and then you have a hoof stomp on top of that. So he bursts 350 magical damage at level 3.
With Soul Catcher on top, yeah.
Yeah, which is 20% at level 1.
Yeah.
So,
That's what I was thinking, Veil. Just go ham on it.
I mean, there's probably other items that would be good too to buy instead of Veil, but it's definitely a solid choice, I guess, if you already have like 5 other items and you just got some money to spend.
Ethereal Blade would actually be pretty good in this game as well.
On Centaur.
Yeah.
Why?
To stop the Tiny from attacking in team fights. Also to do more burst damage to
Okay,
blow.
I can't side with this.
Okay.
I can't.
I think if you want to,
Another dead Trixie, perhaps. The body blocks.
Oh,
Oh,
more
EGM.
blocks.
He's
Right
dead.
clicks.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Well played. Back in the mid lane, the Link's going on Excalibur. He's losing a lot of damage. And not going to die, but it seems like this dual lane mid, like you said, is not really doing too much. And they are bottle crowing, but to what end?
The thing is, I like this a lot more if you're Radiant, like if you dual lane a Wisp and a Tiny. Just because at the very least, the Wisp can go stack something. But you can't do that on Dire.
Yeah.
And honestly, even if the roles were switched and the teams were on the opposite sides, the Wisp would still need to stay in mid all the time just to make sure that Excalibur could be in experience range.
I mean, right now you can see that between Link as well as Nova, Excalibur is constantly being zoned out.
It's just a matter of 2 extremely strong ranged heroes that are really good laners against a Tiny whose lane presence isn't really great until he gets levels.
We haven't talked
And a
about
Wisp.
the farming disruptor at all. Like,
I mean, he's hitting creeps, man. What's to talk about?
I mean, I
he
guess
just-
what Shane's asking is like, what does this hero offer when you get him farmed, for
does
example?
he buy a Blink Dagger? Does he rush Axe? Like,
I think Blink Dagger is pretty legit in some cases. I also think Aghanims is equally as legit. If you're going to be focused at any team fight and you get doomed or something like that, having the extra survivability from that could be nice. Middle lane, gonna see some harassment going out more or less, but nothing major. That VM disruption on the Panda.
Just to get the regen and laugh at him.
I just want to say that that harassment from Excalibur came without costing any real mana. He used all of his mana through the Avatos, no-tail TP'd in, and then immediately Tether got the Fountain regen on Tiny. And here we go, we're going to see an engagement on the mid lane though, but S4 doesn't care, but he would care now when the clap's coming in. But look at how low no-tail actually is. He's thinking about going back in, but all right, they traded some hits. That actually favors Fnatic if you could trade hits because of the, you know, the bottle regen. Doesn't really favor if you're just taking hits from like the Lich.
Well, at this stage in the game, like Fnatic, they have good comeback potential. I think that's one of the things that their team offers, is that on the back of relocates, a Tiny with farm is obviously going to be devastating, but you can't discount the fact that his combo at pretty much every stage in the game is going to be able to deal a substantial amount of DPS and maybe just go for solo picks. You kill heroes like Lich, Shadow Demon quite easily. The one concern that I have though is that this Alliance Doom has 4 CS.
Yeah.
It doesn't count Devourers, so he's cool.
I mean, he's got as many CS as he is levels.
He has a jungle boots.
It's not bad.
No.
I don't know. I think it's fine. Like, the Doom is going to be able to recover. And the other lanes are going so well for Alliance that I don't really think they care too much if one of the heroes who basically has a built-in Midas isn't really getting everything that he wants.
Interesting. Honey buys the smoke of the sea middle lane. The fight is going to be happening. They finally get a kill on Razor, but it's going to come at a cost. That's going to be 1 kill. The rotation's coming in town, but no-tail. They're going to try to burst out Ake, and they will, but they will lose no-tail as well. Admiral Bulldog comes in, and really, he's a big winner because he's getting a ton of experience. Fly's going to get disrupted under his tower, and the Soul Catchers do so much. Alliance, 3 kills on the mid lane. I gotta say, I really am digging the Max Soul Catcher build coming out from Shadow Demon. It's dishing out a ton of damage. And we have a 6-minute Blink Dagger from the Centaur. This game could get ugly really fast.
I don't think Fnatic have anything to deal with that, actually. Especially considering that the West Tiny, they're not going to be 6 yet. So they can't relocate, they can't find anything else in the map. They haven't pressured the Centaur at all, as obviously exampled by the fact that you said he just got a 6-minute blink. But what have Fnatic really gleaned from this laning phase? Like, what are they looking at and saying, this is worth it to us, besides the Disruptor?
I was just highlighting that for Andy, like, I don't know.
To answer your question, not much, but they are going to try to get a little bit of disruption on that Centaur. Centaur is going to be going down, but
okay,
perhaps a little bit too late, because at this point, a Centaur dying doesn't really hurt Alliance too much. He's already got what he needs. And what he's farming more for at this point is probably like a pipe, but that's not really going to kick in until much later. So sure, that was a good kill against Loda, but not really stemming that bleeding too much.
Yeah, if they had hit him before the Blink Dagger timing, it would have been a heck of a lot nicer for sure.
Yeah.
But a kill's a kill.
Yeah.
And there's not really a huge kill advantage for either team. Middle lane, though, they're going to go for a dive. The Avalanche cost comes in. S4 quite low. They pop the Stampede, defensive disruption, blink forward, and the Stomp to get it secure 1 kill, make it 2. The Chain Thrott's going to be thrown out as well. Hani, he's trying to get out. The Urn. 3 kills going the way of Alliance, just like that.
I don't even know.
And EGM is
He's wrecking.
Yeah, he's
4-0-3.
got an urn, and he's got 3 charges on that urn. Jesus Christ, English. On that urn.
Earn that urn.
Earn real money.
Yeah.
English is hard.
English is. Any case. Admiral Bulldog also is, because he's participating in these kills, he's getting a ton of experience.
Yeah.
So this begs the question, Fnatic, for the lack of a better word, is getting wrecked. They don't have better, like they don't have comeback mechanics like their stacks. How will Fnatic dig themselves out of this hole?
It's got to be relocates. Like
The ganks, yeah.
that is their go-to. Trixie, he wants a Blink Dagger at some point, but he is substantially behind getting a Blink. He's got, what, 700 gold right now to his name, which isn't great.
Yep, disruption, as well as a static storm against EGM. This is a big kill, because it's a big spree kill. There you go, 500 gold. Is Trixie going to make it out alive? I think so. They don't really well. They're actually going to fight this. They're going to get a Boulder Bash. Maybe cycle a Doom in the air. No.
Still linking.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll back it off.
They could have dispelled the haste with the...
Well, I don't know if they would have killed either way.
I thought the ultimate was a little bit...
And plus, his drain was still draining the Earth Panda, so would
No,
have not
the
done
Earth
much
Panda
damage.
would've-
Bottom, no. They might be able to find a kill here on S4. The juke's in the trees. No, he can't go for it. Fly's gonna
Wow.
turn around. The blink away.
What were you going to say to me?
They're going to be a glimpse, and they will find S4. S4, Avatos, toss back up, and they should get this kill. I think that the Stampede's trying to get him out of there. No. Nice pickoff. I don't think you could train Earth Panda's damage.
He was draining damage.
Yeah, he was
No, the
getting
link
damage.
was on, but his damage wasn't.
Oh, no, not as physical damage. It's just your damage when you come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Earth Panda could still right click. Not much.
I mean, at level 1 split, if you have like 200 damage drain, you like one-shot in the middle lane. They're going for Excalibur once again. Avalanche is going to be thrown. The toss comes in, but that's still another kill
EGM wants
going away
more.
of Alliance.
Yeah, they're not gonna get more than that. The no-tail though, he's kind of getting awkward. He's gonna try to tether through his Wisp Illusion. Not gonna make it in time because the burst damage from Lotus absolutely insane. And that goes back to what we said: 7-minute Blink Dagger. And he's not just staying in lane to farm for more. He's ganked mid, he's ganked top, and he's now ganking mid again. Lotus really putting his fingerprints all over this. What can be a very early game victory for Alliance.
Did you say fingerprints?
Fingerprints. He's got his prints.
But he's
over
a
this.
centaur.
He still has hands. How does he hold the arms?
He has,
Lotus putting his prints.
he's putting his hoof prints in maps. Sorry. Anyway, top lane, they're going to find a kill on Admiral Bulldog. Blink Stomp, the double edge to follow. Loda gets a kill on No Tail. Running away is that Doom Disruptor, and this poor Brewmaster, man. What is he to do? It's going to end up being a 2-for-1 trade. So they get Bulldog, but they lose the Wisp and the Brewmaster in the process. Middle lane as well, Excalibur. He's getting linked. Look at that attempted body block coming out. Oh man, this is so bad. Excalibur throws him away. Nicely done. Plasma Field going to come back in. He just can't get down the ramp. He can't get away.
Wow.
Has been one of the most frustrating things in Dota ever.
Yeah, it really is. The thing is, that was actually very nice spacing by Excalibur because he made it so he could not have tossed the Lich.
Yeah.
Because he moved back a little bit and then he tossed to make sure that he wouldn't throw the Lich away to break
Maybe
the
he
link.
should have thrown the Lich.
Yeah, he's like, get out of here. I don't want to get body blocked anymore.
Top lane, they're gonna find EGM. Oh no, the ultimate from Fly misses. And here comes the central blink. Stackstorm is gonna prevent down, but they're gonna lose a little bit more. Fly's gonna die as a result. Hani on the run, man. He's quite fast, and here comes Excalibur, the Centaur's Tom, or excuse me, the Doom from the Centaur's Tom, and they're gonna get Admiral Bulldog, maybe a toss back. He's looking for that toss back, not gonna find it, and here comes Loda, double edge, dropping him low. No Doom can use it, and the kinetic field's gonna zone everybody back out. No harm, no foul. But Excalibur,
They want him.
they definitely want him dead.
Centaur's coming from behind.
Dire's
It's a
top
mission
tower
now.
is under attack.
We can't let him live.
Although I don't think Loda really has the health to do this.
He'll probably die if he double edge.
Yeah, I think he would too. You know, there's been a heck of a lot of killing going on in this game and not a whole lot of towers taken. I just want to point that out. Like, there's 21 kills and not a tower has died. Oh, dude.
Make that 22, man. Relocate, get him
Excalibur,
back.
can he get him back to base?
No, there's not long
I think No Tail's dead too. The
Yep.
Demonic Purge is going to be a double for EGM. Flying, he goes in. He wants to get a kill on Loda, drops the Skywrath ult. He will be able to secure that now on full retreat back to the tower. Teleport coming in. It's going to be Trixie the Chain Frost. It bounces back to the creep wave.
Oh, no.
And then Trixie
no.
again. He should be able to get away from this. Not going to drop.
EGM once.
EGM, the Swedish sniper, he's going at it. He's looking for those kills. He's got the urn. If he ever gets sight on him, he can drop another one on top. Fly is walking on the right, and that should be enough. They also see EGM, and he's going for those keep wards again.
I mean, he walks past the ward, so he's like, oh.
He can turn around and get the kill on this, right? No, there's a
I don't think
silence.
so.
Urn. Just right click it, man. Oh, here comes No Tail, and that will be it. And they should be able to de-ward this as well.
Yeah, definitely.
He Fly immediately bought Sentry Wards.
Yeah.
Dire's
And
bottom tower
what do you know?
is under
When you're
attack.
behind us, Fnatic, stack.
What are they up to?
Yeah, they're stacking and clearing an account in the jungle.
This is big though. Like, doing stuff like this really will pull you back into the game. Sure, it's not a Tinker who has 17-minute everything, but it's a start.
Yeah.
And the thing about Tiny is his damage is still going to be very substantial. We're going to find Hani here inside the wood. Stampede's going to be popped. Loda gets the double edge right before the glimpse sends him back. Now tier 1 could actually be in trouble here on the side of Fnatic in middle lane.
Yeah, also as Tiny ramps up in terms of the items, he gets so much more difficult to kill. And when you have a team like Lich, Shadow Demon, as well as Centaur that relies on burst damage, Tiny could become more and more of a problem. He's gonna go for Overclock first, most likely back into a point booster, and then just, I don't want to say he becomes unkillable, but you have to really expend a lot of nukes to get Excalibur dead.
If you're on a strength hero, do you get the Ogre Cup first as well, or do you always get the point booster?
I personally prefer the point booster because it gives you the necessary mana, but he does have Wisp following him around, giving him constant mana regen, so I could understand the fact that why he got the club first.
What is it, like 60 more health from the point booster or something?
Just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
It's a value item, man. I mean, this game, it still looks like it's pretty heavily favored for Alliance, but it's still not over. We haven't really seen a full-fledged team fight from Fnatic, like with Split, with a really, really good static storm, with a good relocate, and just being able to pick and choose your opportunities, which I think is something that Fnatic's lineup has as an advantage over what Alliance do. Because they don't really have any, sure, Centaur's a good initiator, but they don't have that blink factor with relocate factor as well. And then if a fight ever goes Fnatic's way, they can get a lot more because they have heroes like Disruptor who are exceptional at getting more for every single engagement.
Yeah. Speaking of Admiral Bulldog, because I remember what you said earlier, right? He had 4 CS in 4 minutes, or in 4 levels, excuse me. But now he's got the Hannah Midas running. What do you think he's actually going to go into with
Blink,
his
I guess.
2,000-ish gold?
Blink.
I mean, Blink is definitely possible. Because if you use... I mean, does he need a Blink with Stampede, though? That's my question. Because if your Centaur blinks in, Hustom, Stampedes, you're going to be pretty much right on top of the hero that was stunned and should be able to doom anyway. So maybe he goes for a more team-oriented build.
But I think the Doom needs to blink in to doom the Panda. It's not so much...
Yeah, that's true. That could be...
It's not really for anyone else. Maybe you could doom Skywrath. It wouldn't be so bad, or Disruptor. But mostly on Panda.
I think Doom would be good. I also favor BKB quite a bit, because if you get BKB, essentially you're not taking any damage aside from Tiny's right clicks, which will get stronger and stronger as the game goes on, but for now, you are king.
So now they have quite a bit more dangerous initiation, I would say. Because if Trixie gets doomed, I actually don't think they can fight. At least prior, of course, to Panda Split.
Yeah.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Here comes a tier 2 push, and I think Fnatic might just let that one go. But they do have relocate though, so if there is somebody getting out of position, Fnatic might choose to seek that fight. There is a Blink Dagger up on Trixie as well, so if they could jump in with a Static Storm as backup, they could just go to work right now.
I don't really know if Fnatic wants to fight this per se. Like Excalibur and No-Tail are just sitting at bottom right now, just split pushing, doing their thing.
Yeah.
Which is one thing also that Fnatic's lineup can do, is do this like 3-2 split.
Yeah.
Where Alliance, sure, they could go for some solo kills and things like that, but it's always dangerous to be pushing in when you're not actually pushing into the Wisp Tiny.
Yeah.
Because you always have to assume they're going to be in the fray at some stage.
You're losing your towers.
Yeah. It's a tense game though. 26 kills in 17 or 18 minutes. Towers have actually fallen now.
What do you think of the Blade of Alacrity after the Ogre Club?
Face armor.
Face armor. What is it? 1.3?
I think Point Booster is just better.
1 point. No, a point booster is better.
Yeah.
I'm actually not sure why he bought that.
Yeah, it confused me as well. I was thinking maybe he's afraid to use
the attack speed makes you farm like marginally faster. It's 10 attack speed.
Maybe he just didn't go past the secret shop or whatever.
Yeah, maybe
it's not exactly the biggest deal.
No, it's really not. Especially if you don't plan on fighting until you finish the axe.
It's just weird. Maybe he had exactly 1,000 gold and wanted to fight.
That could be.
Yeah.
Tower though, just free. Alliance walk up to the tier 1 middle lane of Fnatic and just say, yep, we're taking this. Thanks for the gold.
Yeah,
and the map control.
They have a pipe and a mech and 4 staff. Like, there's not much that Fnatic can do in the way of team fighting. Like, they don't have one supportive item like that at all.
The other thing is too, is that if you compare what Hani was doing in lane to how he's doing now, like just looking at the last hits, he has 38.
I think in lane he had 36 when he stopped.
Yeah, like he actually completely stopped hitting creeps.
He went bottom to kill Loda on the Centaur, killed him, and then stopped farming.
Yeah. So, in most circumstances, your safe laner continues farming, or at the very least, farms to a point where you get the core item that you need, and then you let other people farm.
Yeah.
But he hasn't actually gotten to that point because things were going so poorly that he was needed. And then he could never really go anywhere else to farm because Excalibur needs to farm on Tiny. So can they utilize the map efficiently enough to keep themselves in the game and let Hani finish his Ags on top of Excalibur's?
He just finished his act there. Speaking of.
I think if you're Hani,
Oh my god, he's so cute!
look for a very good fight.
Not cute anymore.
Aw.
He grew up,
So
literally.
quick, so quick.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying, Lumi?
Yeah, you look for a good fight if you're
Radiant's
Hani.
top
Like,
tower
I
is
think
under
he's
attack.
such a bad farmer overall.
Dire's
I'm sure you have
bottom
your
tower
Thunder
is
Strike,
under
but it's not really a good farming nuke. So, if you just win a fight, you get maybe 1 kill or assist or 2, you get the rest of your Aghanim Scepter fairly quickly. So, it's not something to be worried about too much. And I think the fight might come very soon. Like, I think Fnatic should be looking for the fight now with a Aghanim finish on Tiny. He's just so tanky, 1600 health, 1700 health.
They can take the stack too.
With 7 base armor, overcharge is gonna bring that up to like 3000 effective HP, I wanna say.
3,000.
Yeah.
Well, it's just 20% flat damage reduction from everything.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't know if it's 3,000, but it's up there.
With the armor and the mech and all that stuff.
Lumi's just like math.
Throwing a number out there.
They don't have mech.
They have overcharge. That's
that-
like a mech. It's
I
not
mean-
really like a mech. I'm just-
I don't want to question it, Max.
Middle lane, they're going to be able to pick off Fly and Trixie together. There's not going to be any split at all. And Fnatic, they might get their stack, but they paid dearly for it as their tier 2 is now in some serious trouble. Not even a glyph. Even if they had one, I'm not sure if they would use it for this. I don't think they can defend this at all.
No, they won't.
The tier 1 top, or excuse me, tier 1 bottom might be in trouble, or they could just rotate top and push that tier 2.
Any thoughts on going on high ground for like
No.
the next 15 seconds?
No. There's no way they go high ground here.
Not against 3 of them.
I
With a
thought
blink.
You go high
There's
ground
not
for
enough time. Like at minute, you would get like what, couple
300
hundred damage on
damage,
a tower
yeah.
or something like that. It's better to just farm your enemy's woods and just run back to your side of the map, so that way they have nothing to farm when they respawn.
Okay.
And
they
then
also
they
warded.
just like, oh well, now suddenly no money.
Yeah, also, trying to do that against a disruptor that can glimpse you back when the Tiny does respawn gets a bit scary.
And relocate as well,
Yeah.
because No Tail was still alive, and so is Excalibur.
Alliance will do just that, go back, farm the jungle, and be on their merry way.
When you're ever farming the jungle, do you ever leave a little creep? Like leave?
If you're farming your enemy's woods, you always should do that.
Yeah.
Like, some people are so greedy to the point where they'll just farm everything in just like kill even the small satyrs that are only worth like 19 gold or whatever.
Sometimes 15.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But it is technically better to leave it because it's less gold that they can get and they won't respawn until you kill it.
Yeah.
So,
Emerald Bulldog going for that BKB. I think BKB essentially is all he needs. And
middle lane.
Yep.
Ani gonna get blink initiated on plasma fields there after the double edge and the chop. Just, well, I guess it's more of a smash. It is quite a menacing looking hammer axe thing, whatever it's supposed to be.
I keep saying that Hani, all he needs to do is just like, you know,
Radiant's top
hold on
tower
for dear
is
life,
under
and he'll get his axe eventually, but hasn't got it yet, because Loda is just finding these picks. Loda's been involved in 14 out of his 20 kills for the team. It's pretty insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it's kind of impressive that, oh, bottom lane relocate. They're going to find Bulldog. They're going to pop the Stampede defensively here. The Wisp is tossed. He's got a haste rune.
The friends are coming.
The Force Staff getting him away from that Mystic Flare. The fight should be over because No-Tail's back very soon. They do have the Brewmaster split. They've been using it to chase very far, but that's also down. I think that's 2 split from Trixie that have essentially done nothing.
Well, it didn't do nothing. It did kind of, I mean, make Alliance run away, because if Trixie didn't split, there's a possibility that Admiral Bulldog could have gotten out of range, blinked back in and doomed. And then they would have just lost the fight, I think. Which is not what you want at this stage. Like, Excalibur needs, I think, maybe 2 more items minimum to be able to stand against what Alliance have right now.
Yeah.
And because of the fact that the Panda split, I think, to Alliance isn't even that much of a threat anymore, that you could still doom Excalibur if you wanted to. I mean, I don't know if it's ideal.
Why would you do Excalibur? Just to stop?
Because just more damage. Just make him scared to sit in the fight.
Okay. Not to
Because
disable
he
it.
is a threat right now.
Is it not? No tail. Like, should you not focus no tail when there's a waste of time?
Well, dooming does break the tether, which means that you don't get overcharged.
Yeah.
So
And it's 20% easier to kill.
I'm just saying, like, it doesn't matter what he does. That's basically where they're at.
Alliance is already thinking about the high ground. I mean, and honestly, I don't think Fnatic can stop this. They really need a great static storm coming out from Pawnee, and let's see if we're going to get that one. The burst damage is insane. Tricky looking for that blink, but keep in mind that he does not have the Brewmaster split. No kinetic field just yet. Admiral Bulldog can blink it anytime he wants, so he's just sitting pretty. Thunder Strike. And here comes a TP from Tiny. Nobody's afraid of it. Tiny's going to Avatar on top. Yeah, the ultimate's going to get used here from the Centaur, and S4 sitting on the front line. When all the dust settles, nobody really dies. And they're going to go right back here for S4. Here comes the Doom. It's going to go off Fly. Fly's going to go back to the well and save. They're going to focus on No-Tail. No-Tail Lee dead. The Static Storm coming in slow. Where's Trixie? Trixie does not get his ultimate off. Everybody's still okay. Admiral Bulldog popping the BKB, dodging those nukes. He's stuck. And I think they can re-engage if they want, but Alliance will back off for now. They got the range racks.
Yeah,
They'll come
Trixie
back to
didn't
the
have
melee.
his ult for that fight, that's the thing. It was on cooldown.
Yeah, the Static Storm also came like half a second later. If it got down earlier, it could have protected No-Tail from the Blink Centaur stomp, but...
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I think it's actually kind of a good thing that Trixie ended up getting hit before his blink, because he tried to blink in and clap, but he just clapped.
Yeah.
If he blinked in there, I think he would have just died. So, a little bit of a happy accidents, as Bob Ross would say.
Happy
Rest in
accidents.
peace.
Okay, can they kill the Centaur anymore?
I don't think so.
No,
Yeah.
they can't. They really can't.
Loda could just walk in and just hit buildings.
Yep. Earlier, it was just global silence and hit buildings. Now it's just send your Centaur in and hit buildings. That's where we're at. That's the Dota we're playing today.
Hit the buildings.
Well, that's sort of that we're playing every day.
Yeah, like clicking the ancient is the.
That's... Well, Shane Dota is like... Shane Dota is not hit buildings.
Shane Dota is getting a snowball, boys.
Yeah.
That's Shane Dota.
We'll all die.
The thing that really hurts to play against when you're at this stage in the game against the Centaur is that all the remaining outer tier towers that you had are gonna die.
Yeah.
Because you can't engage into something that tanky and really hope to win the fight. Like, the best thing you can do is put him in the air with Panda Split.
Yeah,
And then ignore him. And then be like, okay, we'll try to kill the rest of your team. Which can still be a problem.
If the rest of the team's dead, they can kill him for the
Blink Stampede, Excalibur is going to get relocated back home. They'll get themselves Wisp. In fact, it's not going to be back home. They're going to try to get kill on the mid lane here. Admiral Bulldog popping that BKB, TPing it now. And I think they will relocate back together. No, just a Wisp, and he is going to be dead.
He just gets chopped as soon as he goes back to where he was.
Yeah.
What a life No-Tail's been living this game. I am curious, though, to hear the reasoning behind the safe lane disruptor. Because it's, in my eyes, it's hard to see what it was really meant to do, because obviously it didn't work out. But I want to know why they picked it, you know? Because I'm looking at it on paper and I'm thinking to myself, okay, if you are trying to abuse the fact that you have really good mobility with your Wisp Tiny, and you can chase really well with things like Glimpse and Thunderstrike, then you're relying on momentum more or less, right? To kind of carry you through the game. Which, if you're Fnatic, is really good because you're a momentum-based team. But if Fnatic don't get a good start and they lose really hard in the lanes, which they did, then you never get that momentum to start out with.
Yeah. I think they expected mid lane to do a lot more. Normally when you run Tiny Wisp mid, you essentially out-attrition the enemy solo mid. But
The last pick Razor kind of screwed them a bit.
right, the Razor as well as the Lich rotating in. So I think the only thing Fnatic's got for themselves is preying on the late game carry potential of the Tiny, which if you look at his item output, it's not too bad. Like if he finishes AC and Daedalus, he can threaten that Centaur, but the question is what a Centaur as well as the rest of Alliance will have by the time you do finish those items. Probably like a Heaven's Halberd, a Hex, Shivas, sure, like they will just have too much. But there is that Acceptor Static Storm up. Like if it's a time to win a fight, it's time to win this fight.
Can't fight if he's in it.
Here we go. The right click's gonna come through. Static Storm, that's gonna hit onto two. They're gonna focus on Loda. Loda losing a ton of health, and Loda is gonna be straight up dead. One more hit. They are gonna get him down. A huge shriek. Finally, S4 pops his BKB, but down to have to actually have to buy back and use Stampede after the retreating mechanism. and they'll run away, which is fine. Meanwhile, they're gonna go back for Admiral Bulldog, and here's some tether up. Noto goes back in, but he's gonna die down to the nukes. Chain Frost chasing Excalibur. They have defended, but unfortunately, they've used a lot of resource to do so. S4 still on the front line, and keep in mind the Loda slowly getting his way back to that bottom tower.
He just got a DD. He's like, yes, please.
I think actually by the time that Loda runs back,
Fly's gonna be alive, right?
yeah, I think Fly will be alive. I don't think No Tail will, but there's a glyph too. The only thing that's a problem is it splits down, so maybe they're just going to go all in here.
And just hope the rotate's down as well.
Oh, Excalibur, he's gonna get double edge. It's still okay, but S4 is coming back in. The relocate a little bit slow. There's double buyback coming out from Whips. Walls Tiny's time to retreat. They have the pipe on the back right. Excalibur, he's looking for the toss. It misses. Loda way too tanky this time without the support of that Excellent. S4 going back in, and so will Admiral Bulldog. He sees the juicy support. Stampede back up again in that team fight, and then blow the Whips off after a buyback. Brewmaster is dead as well. Tiny, he's fighting the entire team by himself. Him against the world, and I think Excalibur is going to get driven back. Finally, Alliance will have the tier 3, and perhaps the racks as well.
I think this should be, well, there's a buyback from Panda. Maybe they can actually hold this. But Loda, he's got 3,000 HP. You saw what they had to dump into him last time just to kill him. He got everything.
Yep.
So without everything, can't kill him, which means that the racks are pretty much going to go down here. So Alliance definitely doing quite well in this game. He's just going to blink in. He does not have split. He's going to go out and Excalibur as well. And they're going to find Hani on the side. Disruptor drop. Excalibur going to be soon to follow. This might just be your GG, and there it is. Alliance take a very, very convincing Game 1 victory over Fnatic in this best of 3 series. And I just want to say that if the Wisp Tiny lane maybe had a little bit better of a time, that I think they could have maybe made something happen this game.
I absolutely agree. We saw in that last team fight how close they could have been. Like, a lot of those heroes were running around at very low health, such that I think if you had like a bigger crit from Tiny, for example, they could have just wiped everybody. But obviously, the laning stage wasn't too great. And Fnatic drops game 1, like you said, Andy.
Do you think that was down to the Razor, or was it the Lich? Or both?
I think both.
It's both.
Yeah.
Because those types of lanes, like a Wisp Tiny is designed to do well in lane, even though it's like a melee hero, right? But if you look at a double range lane with a Lich and a Razor, you don't win that lane. Like, that is a lane that